Today I'll be showing you guys the difference between the HDR modes on the Hisense U8K. Now this is important because usually out of the box it doesn't look anywhere near as good as it should, and we're going to be showing you what that looks like. But may I just take a second to just appreciate these new settings that I'm rocking right now that I've just created and that look fantastic on this damn thing, because like, goodness gracious. If you're one of those people, I get this request a lot, like, hey Quantum, can you make like always on HDR settings for the PS5? Well, rejoice, because today I've done that, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what it looks like, okay? So we're going to pause, grab a frame here, and I'm going to show you by cycling through the modes that we have, okay? So we're going to go to the menu, and we're going to go, let's say, filmmaker mode. Immediately dim, and the color is super washed out. Then from there, we go IMAX enhanced. It's not as dim, but the color is, again, super washed out. From there, we go to, let's say, HDR Vivid. It's really cool and not really nice. We go down to Standard. It's okay, but again, still missing a ton of color. We go to Energy Saving. It just gets super dim again. Then we go to HDR Game. This looks actually the better out of all the presets. So if you're kind of like trying to figure out which one looks better, surprisingly, HDR Game mode looks like the best so far. And then, of course, there's sports mode, which overly cool, not ideal. And then what I've created, which just changes the game. You get all the ambient light back. It's an entirely different experience. Now, again, the relevancy of this is when you buy these TVs, again, they don't come at this level. And so you're going to have to really adjust the TV or tune the TV to get the performance. Think of it like, again, like engine tuning. You know, you're never going to get racetrack performance if you never tune on it, right? And that's kind of the same thing with televisions. As much as people don't want to admit that is the case, that is totally the case. That is, again, one of the big reasons why I always come down and say, hey, like, don't just trust out of the box reviews, because A, you could do that yourself. You could literally just walk into a Best Buy on the store floor, look at what it looks like out of the box and say, okay, I want this or I don't. Take it out of the box when you get home and never touch a thing on it. If that's how you watch TV, by all means, do your thing. But I'd like to think you want to at least see what you paid for from an AI perspective, processing perspective, all of that, color perspective, and that's just not going to happen by default. The manufacturers are not putting that kind of time into their TVs. They're just selling you a product, and it's up to you to fine-tune it to your, optimal performance levels. Much like PCs and all that other stuff. They don't come fully loaded up. You got to put what you want on them. Same thing with TV settings and all that stuff. So I know that's kind of a controversial way of putting it for some people, but it needs to be said because it's very, very true. So again, what we're going to do is just show you guys some more examples. I love these examples because they really do captivate a lot of the color, and you can see like what you're missing out on, truly. And color is really it. When you go to these examples, time after time after time after time again, you're going to notice a theme here, and the theme is really simply put that HDR is not great out of the box. Now, I need to point this out because a lot of people are going to be like, oh man, like you're not being fair to one TV or another or whatever. I can't really speak to whatever somebody wants to rebuttal with, but what I can say is if you put the work into these TVs, they are capable of more. Now, I want to show you guys another example of what I'm talking about. And we're going to grab a frame right about, let's wait till we see something with ratchet on, because that'll really show us what we're looking for. Right about here, okay? Ratchet's face, and we're going to cycle through in the same manner and just show you guys in real time what it looks like. You lose that effect almost immediately of what HDR is supposed to be, and it almost becomes just like a shell of what you would expect. It's now over sharpened with vivid mode, standard mode, over sharpened as well. Energy saving mode, really dim. HDR game mode looks the best out of all of them. A little fuzzy though, like blurry, not clear. And then there's HDR Sport, way over sharpened, over cooled. And then theater mode, where I basically put all the sauce in on it. And again, it's about having that extra sauce to get to the next level. That really makes a difference, and you're able to see a lot of the details, a lot of the experience that you pay for on these televisions. So again, Just kind of rating the HDR performance on this television, I think it is really good and you'll be very happy. Now, after the update, I don't notice any substantial changes in terms of brightness or anything like that, but I can say that ultimately speaking, that probably won't matter to many people or most people. As the image right now, that's damn good. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's about as good as you could hope for on a television, and I think again, it's really good. Especially a mini LED television, like, again, we're hitting levels of highlight placement that are just insane on this thing. Not the brightest TV, though. I still, again, after updating, there's nothing that has changed in that regard, and I don't really see any changes in terms of motion either, so I don't know what their minor improvements were. But hey, whatever. Maybe there was something else that they found that needed to be fixed that I don't know about, but nothing major was addressed or corrected as far as I am aware. But that being said, though, it's a plenty bright enough TV, and yeah, so we can basically leave the review as it is, but I at least wanted to talk about HDR. These HDR settings are available, and you can snag them by joining the membership and get taken care of 100%. So that being said, if you guys have questions about this model versus another model, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching the #1 Brand in Honesty, and until the next video, I'll see you guys later.